This is a Breath of the Wild free podcast, all right?
I was about to say, it may be Breath of the Wild free, but you're going to hear a lot about Zelda.
Let's begin now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the D1 DLC podcast. My name is Brad. On the end is Ben, and for the first time, Monique.
Hey.
Before we get into the beer one and talking about video games and all the sort of tomfoolery that goes on with it, Ben, do you remember where we are?
Harry's Bar.
Harry's Bar.
Yes.
On?
Harry's Bar on Grenfell.
Excellent.
.com.au.
Excellent. Something like that. Yep, but I'm going to put a link somewhere so people can see that. Absolutely. So we are here. We are here every second Tuesday. So feel free to come along and heckle and join us if you so desire. And a huge thank you to them for letting us come here and have our quiet beer or 3-peat of gins. Or it's an impressive.
No, this is what number 5. These will be 5. We finish these.
You're really embracing the drink at the pub thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's
good.
I never don't embrace the drinking thing.
Yeah. Excellent. So we have no huge plan for what we're going to talk about tonight, except the reason that we've conned Monique into joining us is because she plays games a little bit differently, certainly to myself, and I think probably to Ben as well. So do we awkwardly segue into making you talk about it? Or shall we introduce it because it's going to feel a bit...
No, introduce it.
Introduce it? Okay. So let's talk about the list that we have in front of us. Ben, at a guess, how many games would you say is on that list?
What, 20, 30?
20, 30? And so just to be clear, and a lot of these games have little black markers next to them, which represents completing them 100%. Now, these are the games that you've completed this year.
Replayed
this year. And the black mark means that you 100%ed them during that replaying. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot. Like, there's a lot of games on there. And let's just reel off a few of them. So, like, is there a Zelda game that's not on there?
Yeah, there's a few. I started but didn't finish Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons this year. And Breath of the Wild's not on there because I didn't replay it. I just played it. And the DS ones aren't on there.
So there's more that you actually finished that aren't on there? Or
the
Zelda ones you haven't done? Yeah,
I just didn't finish them this year.
Yeah.
I've finished every Zelda game.
Yeah.
Everything that's come out has been finished at some point or another, no matter where it is in the timeline. But yeah, there's, maybe 9 Zelda? 7? 8?
Undertale? That's Ratchet and Clank 2.
Yeah.
Oddly specific. Like, why not Ratchet and Clank? Or
because I refinished Ratchet and Clank 1 last year.
Okay.
And Ratchet and Clank 2 is the first one I played, and it's the most fond memory I have of Ratchet and Clank. So. And you are
so the first thing is you're pretty hardcore Nintendo, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your Twitter handle?
Mini Aaron.
Yeah, as in Samus.
Like Mini Samus.
Yeah.
Just tattooed on my arm. It's kind of important. My cat's name's Samus. Figurines.
And you don't mind Zelda?
Oh yeah, no.
Obviously.
Clearly not.
So firstly, I reckon it's pretty rare. I don't know, Ben, when was the last time you reckon you 100%ed a game?
Oof. Never. No, that's the lie.
Yeah, come on.
I honestly couldn't tell you when the last time I 100%ed a game is, but it's not often.
Yeah. So can I ask, when you 100% a game, so the rules for 100%ing a game, is that like when the game tells you it's 100% complete, or is that where you have every single trophy that exists in the game?
Well, the thing is, I don't play games which generally are on newer generation stuff.
So if the game
it doesn't
tells
tend
you,
to have... but then again, Zeldas don't really tell you either.
The reason I ask is because talking about this made me think the last time I 100%ed a game was Batman Arkham Knight.
Okay.
And that told me that I 100% of it. That's how I knew. I found all the trophies, all the side quests, all that sort of stuff. But I didn't get the platinum trophy for it because I didn't glide for far enough distance, or there was a couple of achievements I didn't unlock. So does that get a black mark on your list? Am I like, yes, that's 100%?
I would consider, games like Shovel Knight, for example, I have finished that game, but because of all the feats in it, I have not 100% of that game because, you have to finish that game in 3 hours or something like that to get the trope.
So you would say
that. If it's a newer generation game, it has to include all achievements, everything.
I've never 100%ed a game.
See,
Not even old school stuff? Like,
I definitely would have. So, I mean, you saying a couple of the titles there, I'm thinking like Jack and Daxter. I remember going through and getting everything in the game, 100%ing. And you get a slightly different ending for doing it, but, I mean, it's... I'm personally a little bit of a completionist as well.
Yeah.
I just don't have as much free time as you may have. When I went through Horizon Zero Dawn earlier this year, I 100%ed every story, mission, everything, and then started doing a couple of the what are they called? The hunting ground.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
The trials, and I sucked at them and stopped.
Yeah.
And went, yeah, okay, now I've had enough of this game.
That'll do it.
I think I mean, with these games here, at least what I've written down, and the fact I have 100% a lot of games besides that, it's... I'm not entirely sure why I do it, but I feel like I get the most out of the games I play. It's like, if I enjoy a game...
So you get your money's worth, like, there's no doubt about that. Do you own all these on the original devices they were on? So you've got all the old school...
I own every Nintendo console, every Nintendo handheld, every limited edition game.
Oh, Jordan, I'm so sorry you're not here. You love this shit.
My collection's worth, like, I think it was last valued at about 20, 30 grand.
You gotta send us some photos.
Everything's in storage at the moment though, because now it's been insured and everything. It's very important. But I have an original of all of these consoles at home. So I have like a playable ones, and then I have non-playable copies as well.
So like the non-playables like boxed up.
Generally, yeah. I have 4 copies of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
That's a good game.
3 in box and 1 out of box. So I have 1 I can play, and then I have 1 in mint, and then 2 which are in box but not mint.
So being that kind of collector, and I actually feel bad that I didn't ask Jordo this question before, but like, because you're that kind of collector, do you have at home a copy of the Switch? So you don't have a Switch, do you?
No.
All right. So do you have a copy of the Switch Zelda that you bought for storage just for later on, or
No.
No? Do you plan to do that?
Yes, I also plan to completely replay and 100% Breath of the Wild when I get it on Switch.
On the Switch? Yeah, okay.
So just to be clear, you're currently playing it on Wii U?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left, the Switch essentially came out just before I left for Europe.
Okay.
And so I couldn't afford to really fork out the money for the console, but
can you think of a better way to spend your time on the plane flying to Europe?
I was thinking
than
that
with a
like,
Switch.
well, the thing is, by the time
if it had
I
a
left,
battery life of more than 5 minutes, maybe.
by the time
That's unfair.
by the time I left for Europe, I had already like 85% completed Breath of the Wild, so I'd already finished every shrine. I had roughly 800 Korok seeds. I was just kind of grinding to fully upgrade all of the armor and everything at that point. So
That's a trial in itself.
Yeah, and I'd filled the Hyrule Compendium. Like, by that point, I was really just trawling for Korok seeds and like getting star fragments and shit like that, which takes for fucking ever.
Yep.
So I really found like, oh, I can buy this on Switch and completely replay. But I took my 3DS to Europe and I barely touched it. So I was...
And to be fair, it's Europe.
Yeah.
I would move there in a heartbeat if I could.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But if you did, you'd probably play your Switch a fair bit while you were there.
I got withdrawals.
Yeah.
I got withdrawals.
Yeah.
And there was, I think the second to last place I was Barcelona. And I was staying with a guy I met in Edinburgh. And he had a Switch and, like, massive nerd, like, so many pop figures and everything. And he was like, do you want to come play some Mario Kart? I'm like, yeah, I want to play some Mario Kart. I'd really enjoy that. Thank you.
Just looking at your list here, there's 2 things I want to point out. So the first one is that, and this is for Jake, is the Borderlands is on this list. Yeah, bro, well done.
Borderlands 1?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I would have thought Borderlands 2 would have been the...
I actually haven't played Borderlands 2. I've played the pre-sequel, whatever it is.
I could see that it's you just like clenched your fist, Ben. You were what? Oh, because you're...
this year, I'd played Borderlands previously. This year, I went out and bought Borderlands 2. Like, it was $20 on an EB sale or whatever for the definitive all the DLC edition. Yep. And this year I've gone and played it, and I had a blast. I absolutely fucking loved it.
Well, I really enjoyed Borderlands 1. When it came out, I finished that game 5 times.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because I played through every class.
Oh my god, you would love what... Like, I reckon Borderlands 2 is probably the most... the biggest consensus we have in the D1 crew of one of the greatest games of all time. And it is so much better than Borderlands. I can see a tiny Tina being tattooed on your body somewhere once you play that game. Honestly, it's such a great game. You got to play that.
But yeah, I played through it 5. So I played every class, and then I have an older brother, and we played through co-op. I think maybe the second time I played through it.
Yep.
With like the medic soldier, and I play Siren. Originally played Siren.
Siren is best.
In the second one, the Siren is so much better.
It's pleb mode. Pleb mode. You're majoring with like SMGs and stuff like that. Phase walk kicks ass, like.
Given the option in any game, if there's like a wizard/magic user class, that's me. That's me every game.
So that's not me in most things.
So for me, yeah.
I'm the typical. In WoW I played a hunter or a rogue.
Yep.
Everything, even in D&D, like I play a rogue.
Fair enough.
I can also, I feel like your beard makes you predisposed, Ben, to be playing a wizard.
Are you typecasting me?
Look, I didn't want to assume your character. That was not what I was doing. Hey, the other thing I noticed on your list is there's not many Mario games here.
No.
In fact, is there even a Mario on your...
Actually, I did forget to add, I've replayed Galaxy this year, Galaxy 1.
Yep.
Which is one of my favourite Mario games of all time.
Was that the...
Wii.
It was the Wii?
Yes.
Okay.
What
was I thinking of? I was thinking
Mario.
the 64 is what I was thinking.
Yeah, there's 64, then Sunshine on GameCube, and then Galaxy and Galaxy 2, which are like the 3D Marios, essentially.
Yeah, I absolutely
so you're not
love
anti-Mario,
Galaxy myself.
Okay, just checking.
I quite like Mario, but the thing is, as much as you probably... It doesn't seem like it, as Super Metroid being my favourite game. 2D side-scrolling platformers are not particularly my thing. Like, I
feel like Mario hasn't been a 2D side-scroller for like a decade or so.
Well, you consider if I'm...
I mean, there's the new Super Mario Brothers.
I've played through that, 100% of that this year. But if I'm going to play Mario, I'm probably going to go back and chuck in like the All-Stars pack on the SNES. Or something like that. And
it's a good game.
It is.
It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
And as unpopular as the opinion of Super Mario 2 is probably one of my favorites, and people
Massively
really
underrated.
dislike that.
It's
like old school Doki Doki Panic. Like, why the hell not? It's good.
I think it's very good. Look,
very interesting mechanics, like changed up, and so many quintessential Mario characters spawned from that game, which wasn't even meant to be a Mario game, like Birdo and Shy Guys and everything.
We were talking about this on the regular recording on the weekend with Jordo, and I think Super Mario 3 is one of the greatest games of all time. Like it's almost perfect, and I feel like that just overshadows number 2 so much because number 2 is a great game. The other thing about Mario games, which is fantastic, is it's the game is almost completely reinvented every time. Like there are some very basic mechanics that carry over from game to game, but other than that, they become hugely different. Like,
I have an opinion with this.
Whoa, okay.
I find that newer Mario games, as if you played like new Super Mario Bros. Wii, or I mean like 3D Land and stuff, changed it up a little bit. But playing new Super Mario Bros. Wii, when that came out, almost felt kind of soulless to me.
I kind of felt like that was more of a throwback though than anything else. Like most of those games have been evolutions. That was a bit of a... I almost feel like it's, look, you know what? The people that played Super Mario Brothers 3, which I think was the last 2D side-scrolling one, no, there was the... What were the SNES ones?
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World was big.
So the people that played them, and then
All-Stars came out, they redid and did All-Stars.
Then you jump to the Wii, and there's 10, 15 years that passed in there. Maybe, I don't know, everything feels like it was 15 years ago to me. So I feel like it's almost
That's-
a throwback to people that had
It's
missed
even
that,
longer
maybe?
than.
What about Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door?
Fucking
Yeah.
fantastic game.
Yep.
Actually, probably
There's no bad Mario game.
a couple of years ago, I played the DS Dream Team,
Okay.
which is kind of like the, I guess, spiritual successor to kind of like Super Mario RPG and Thousand Year Door and everything, same sort of
Yep.
concept. And I really enjoyed that game. Like, really, really enjoyed that game. It was such an interesting, weird concept. And there was a point in it where I got really emotional about Luigi. And I was like,
Are you looking forward to Odyssey?
yes.
Okay. Are you
It's-
going to get a Switch before?
Honest to God, if
No,
someone
I
said
am
no to that
waiting.
question, like,
What? No.
I am
would
waiting
you not just
until
beat them
it's
to death
out.
with the microphone?
I wouldn't, because I'm polite.
I'd
I'd do it
for
when
you.
the camera was off. So.
I am essentially waiting to buy a Switch
Yeah.
for that to come out. The only other game I'm kind of interested in playing on Switch, besides Mario Rabbids,
Yep.
would be
That's what I was going to ask you. The Mario Rabbids hasn't got you off the fence yet?
not quite yet. Also, Arms looks really, really interesting. I don't know if you've seen gameplay from that, but that looks really interesting concept. I've watched a
I've
bit of
seen
stuff
a
from
little
that.
bit. It's like I have a Switch, mine's sitting just
Yeah.
over here. I'm not convinced. Like I can see the appeal to it. It's just it hasn't grabbed me.
I think it was
also
worth,
really
if it
like
was
fighting
$15 maybe, I just don't think you'd get the longevity out of it.
What
I bet they'll patch stuff in.
my biggest game that I want to buy at the moment for Switch, but the price point is just turning me off, is Bomberman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
I
can
fell in
understand
love
that.
with Bomberman 64 in a big way. It
How
was
has it
one of my
taken so
favourite
long
games.
for Bomberman to come back?
I don't know.
Because there's
It was the quintessential party game. Like, it was,
Yeah.
everyone had that.
besides Mario Party.
And
Mario
GoldenEye.
and
The
Smash
Party
Bros.
and Smash Bros.
NBA
and,
Jam.
you know, all the
Perfect
things
Dark.
which, you know, Nintendo created.
It was, honestly, like, the 64 was the ultimate party machine, I reckon. That was...
I would hazard the
Wars.
Wii would be
Lilac Wars.
I don't even know what
Star
that is.
Fox.
Oh, sorry, Star Fox.
Star
yeah,
Fox.
yeah.
It's Lilac Wars in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so good.
I'm not a big fan of Star Fox, so
Oh.
you can hate me now.
No, that's all right.
Rail shooters aren't really.
It's
Aren't
when
really
you've
my
got
thing.
three other mates and you're all playing it together that it's
Also,
an experience.
it's time for rail shooters to make a comeback. Like, I am sick to fucking death of open world everything. Like,
Why do you think I replay old games over and over and over again? It's because I found a style which I enjoy, and it is not making its way into current gaming besides Nintendo. Like,
Yeah.
Nintendo is pretty much the only company that produces games of the type which I enjoy.
is that Zork too?
Yes.
that.
You could hand me a piece of paper and I could draw you the map for Zork.
What year do you reckon Zork 2 came out?
DOS, early 80s? I reckon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look,
I'm a big fan of Zork.
I feel I off the top of my head, I believe the first Zork was before I was born. 1980, I think.
Good year,
First
The
1980.
internet's going to correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you'll know. We'll find
Yeah.
out.
Zork 1's kind of bullshit though, because by the time you get into the room, there's nothing that tells your health. But if you get hit even once, and it's complete chance, it's randomly generated, whether you get hit by the first enemy you see, you are fucked for the rest of the game. There is nothing you can do about it.
You should, if you enjoy those kind of games, you should maybe check out Tin Man Games, The Warlock of Firetop Mountain. So, Aussie indie game, which is based on a choose-your-own-adventure book, but like had RPG elements, and it's like a tabletop. It's exact. If someone was to make Zork today, this is how I would want them to make it.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you should check that out. It's really, really good. There's a great video you can see on YouTube/C/D1DLC.
I'm a huge fan of Zork. I love the whole lateral thinking, sitting down, and like it took me a long time to sort out Zork 2, but I think as I'm playing through it, I can do it in the least amount of moves. If you get the luck of the carousel room, you can do it in the least amount of moves.
So
Is,
I guess in my mind, the Zork games always fell into the same category as the Myst games. Do you ever get
I've
into
heard of
those?
Myst, not too much into them. Text-based adventure-wise, I kind of stuck to Zork, and I did I think the Lord of the Rings text-based adventure and stuff like that. I was really into point and clicks as well.
Just
So a
on,
lot of Space Quest and King's Quest.
So
and
just
stuff like that.
just quickly on Myst.
Yep.
Eyes of Aria, Aussie made game. You can see the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
/DLC.com.
The reason
Eyes of Aria.
I mentioned it is I've seen Jordo's video on it.
Really
and
good game.
I'm keen to give
And
it
it
a
is
shot.
a huge throwback to that. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see what you thought of that, liking Zor. Like, I think that's probably the most recent comparison to Myst you're going to get.
That's it. They've got a beautiful overlay of the game,
Yeah.
but essentially it's still at its core kind of like your text-based adventure. Like
Yeah.
you're moving around a mansion, you're picking shit up, you're looking at clues, you're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I think I had to try and explain that game to someone. As much as I hate this example, there's an episode of Big Bang Theory, which I happened to see because my parents watch it, where Sheldon was playing something similar, and I had to try and describe it, and they were like, oh, okay, boot it up, let me see what it's like. And they legitimately stood staring at me like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? My lateral thinking, man. Start thinking about what you've seen, what's in your inventory, and how you can do things.
Just on the Big Bang Theory, which is not a show I particularly enjoy.
I hate the Big Bang
But
Theory.
I got to tell you, that show, like, props to their accuracy every time they refer to anything geeky. Like, they don't just
100%.
make up random words. Like, if they're talking about World of Warcraft, they won't say a wizard. They will say a mage. You know what I mean? Like, things like that. That impresses the shit out of me. Like, that's really well done.
They have physicists on, like, who work on the show with them to make sure that all their science
I want to be
is
the
correct
geek
and
that works
everything.
on the show that tells them about video games.
Yeah.
I think the thing I think about that show is that it's the reason that people who actually are geeky don't like it, which I've found overall, is because it's dumbing our interests down that the general public can enjoy.
And I agree with that. I think that's probably a big part of the reason I don't particularly enjoy it. And also, it's making fun of people that like things I like.
Exactly.
Like,
It's like, I am the basement nerd who plays D&D.
I don't know if the rest of the world has noticed, but we're not the fucking outliers anymore, man. Like,
No.
I was thinking about...
when was the last time you went to, like, who goes, oh, this is a great movie that's not about superheroes or dinosaurs or aliens anymore? Like, that's it. We own the box office now. And the box office is, like, you get less money than games. Like, we are, this is, and I say we, it's more like you, because, like, but because my coattails, all right?
Oh, yeah,
I did the hard
definitely.
yards, all
Well,
right?
the thing is, I still got, I guess, very young, like primary school, I wasn't treated overly well because I was a nerd. But being the entrepreneur I am, I was one of the first kids in my primary school to have like broadband internet, and I used to sell cheat codes to other kids.
That's
for
amazing.
games like GTA and stuff like that. I wrote my first walkthrough when I was 11, and I got paid to host it on a site.
I used to have books at home, like handwritten notepads that I'd write all the cheat codes in and stuff like that. That was
I
for
still
like
have all those as
Battletoads
well.
and shit.
No,
so
but see,
it was-
Battletoads had a section in the manual for you to
So
write
did-
your
oh,
stuff.
did I don't remember
Have
that.
you ever heard of a game called Lost Vikings?
Yeah.
On Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Yeah. No, most people my age don't know that game.
Yeah.
I don't. Sorry.
Considering it
Sorry.
did come out before I was born.
Okay,
So
so
you were under the impression that we were the same age as you.
to reference it, the role-playing game that I play on a Monday night, I have 3 underlings named Balog, Eric, and Olaf.
Yeah, well done.
Named after the 3 Vikings.
But that game, I still have the little booklet for it and everything, and we have all the cheat codes from when I was a kid, writing that stuff down. Like, Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yep.
I have like a book full of codes for that.
Did you ever get into the old like Manic Mansion and games
I
like
played
that?
that a lot later.
Yeah.
Because
David
again,
Tentacle just got remastered recently. Did you
yeah, I was more Sierra games, so like a lot of
King's
Space
Quest.
Quest and King's Quest was super interesting to me.
Space Quest? Oh my god, Roger Wilco.
See, and that's I never really got into Space Quest, but King's Quest I was all over.
Yeah, see, it's
See,
like
I wasn't
Jordo's-
into King's Quest, but I was super into Space Quest.
Yeah,
and
Jordo's mad on King's Quest. I reckon I played 1.5 of them. Didn't feel it. Never got it.
King's Quest 5 is a great game.
I'm a massive, like, medieval Renaissance nerd.
Really? I couldn't tell from the sword
No.
fighting. Did you want to? Can we quit? Look, the beers are almost over, but Ben, I feel like now would be a great time to talk about the LARPing. So,
I'd love to hear about it.
It's not LARPing.
Not
sure?
laughing.
It sounds like it's LARPing. I think
it's not. It's not LARPing. It's HEMA, the
HEMA.
historic European martial arts. It is.
Is that just a different way of saying LARPing?
It is.
No, it's not at all. It's actually looking at the training that was developed back in the 1500s, and trying to recreate that. So basically,
So it's almost like it's like you're role playing someone from that area, but live action, right? Is that what you're?
No, it's not laughing. It's not. Oh, fuck you guys.
Okay.
It's an actual martial art, looking at the text of people that are from the period.
Yeah. It's like putting yourself in those shoes, though, right? Like,
I will
you get to
fight
be a
you
mage?
with a sword. With a sword.
That's right. I'll come up against you.
Yeah. Okay.
Shaolin versus medieval. Let's see how it goes.
we'll take that moment to go and refill the beers.
Yep.
I
Because
could
I
use
feel like
another
I'm about
gin.
to need one. So, and we will be back shortly.